Okay, folder here. Quick review. This is a Spyderco Smock. Before I get into the review of this knife, I really need to discuss really quickly some weird rant that I put out the other day. When I got this I was in my car and I got this knife and I really started just looking at it, just really admiring how amazing it is. And so I did a video and I erased it since then, and it looked like it had 5 views. I just want to apologize to anyone that heard it. And I also want to apologize to Kevin Smock, the individual that designed this knife. He's an award-winning industrial designer who designed this knife. He has a custom SK23 custom that this is modeled after, but he designed the Spyderco version. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. So all right, so let's just not going to dwell on that. I just want to get into the review. Let's just start off with the maintenance first. Let's see what this thing weighs. Okay, so the weight. Oh, no, we want to clear that. And its weight is 3.7 ounces. So it's not a heavy knife, but it's not very light either. And that's probably due to the liners. For me, the weight of it is insignificant to the compared to for the styling of the knife. It doesn't matter at all. I carry much heavier knives than this, but for the size of it, with the weight, it is pretty heavy. But it's to the full steel liners, as you notice. It's not you're not skimping on those liners at all, and it's one of the things about it that I think is just absolutely gorgeous. Also the shape of the blade, but we'll get into that after. Let's get into the overall length. The overall length of this is just over 8 inches, or about 8 inches, really. You can move it back, it's about 8 inches. We look like we have about 3.5 inches of blade total, 3.5 inches, and cutting surface is 3 inches, which is really good. I mean, that might be legal in a lot of places, so that's a good thing. All right, let's do our usual comparisons. I always compare to the Sage 5 because of the fact that it's one of the smallest knives I carry, and we're doing pivots, and as you can see, this knife is bigger than the Sage 5. Okay, and one of our other normal comparisons, the Cold Steel Recon 1, which is bigger than everything, is absolutely enormous knife. Okay, as you can see, the Recon 1 is much bigger, comparing it to a Recon 1. And let's compare it to one of my absolute favorite knives in the world ever in history, the PM2, the Spyderco PM2. Putting pivot to pivot. Let's do it this way. And of course, this is my Flightanium pivot PM2. And the PM2 is a bigger knife than this. Yes, it is. Okay, PM2. And something I don't really usually do with my size comparisons, but I'm going to compare it to my Manix 2, which is, if you watch my channel, you know the Manix 2 is one of my favorite knives, period. If not my favorite, it's number 1 or number 2 or maybe number 3, but more likely number 1 or 2, the Manix 2. I love the Manix 2. And I bought my my best Manix 2 out for this comparison, not my daily beater. Okay. This is also from Blades We Love. I actually bought this from him, and I changed the scales. This had a multicolored scales. I put these on here. But the knife's from him, polished, stone finish. The action on this knife is sick. It is absolutely amazing. Okay, but let me get back to the point. Okay, so you can see that size comparisons, it's very close, if not the same exact size as the Manix 2. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna do one more size comparison because this is a knife that I'm gonna really compare this to. The AD20 20.5. The 20.5, and this happens to be my carbon fiber one, and this Smock are almost identical. I'm talking about extremely close in size in every way. Matter of fact, with the blades closed on both of them, I mean, it is actually identical. Like, it is identical, you know. So, yeah, they are very close. The Smock is much thinner. When you put them down and you kind of look at the height here, the 80 20.5 sits up higher, but this is a very slim form factor anyway. And to be honest with you, you can compare this knife to a lot of gentlemen's knives. It's like a robust gentleman's knife, you know, almost like the CEO or one of those type of knives. Okay, so just to really get into this thing, okay, I did the comparisons, and then I'm gonna just do a review looking at this thing front to back. And I'm gonna start off with this blade, S30V blade, and the shape of this blade, because it's one of the reasons why I absolutely love this knife so much. The shape of the blade is unlike any other shape I've seen. Okay, like I said before in my other view, I don't know if it's a shark's foot, a sheep's foot, or or some type of almost like a Tonto. It's probably a Warncliffe. It's probably categorized as a Warncliffe, but Warncliffes basically don't have a point like this. They don't come to a point normally. They normally kind of come down a little bit. So, when you're, they don't do well as in thrusting because they curve down. You can do utility cuts, but you can do utility cuts with this too. So this is an acquired taste knife. Some people might be looking at this knife going, I don't see what he's making a big deal out of this thing for. But it's growing on me more and more every day. And I'm going to tell you right now, this knife probably is going to end up in my top 3 or 4 knives, period. Like, out of everything. I'm going to do a review of my best knives coming up. It's going to be really soon. And this knife is going to be really high. I'm actually changing the scales on this to zirconium. So that's going to be interesting once I get that. And I actually ordered another one of these in white. So, yeah. At any rate, so yeah, the blade, okay, and also the deployment methods on this knife are absolutely incredible. The choices that we have are really it's excellent. You have the regular Spidey hole, which allows you to do the slow roll. Some people could probably thumb flick this, but my fingers are too big for that. You can reverse flick it. Not that good at it because of the fact that it's a tight squeeze getting in that hole, but my finger can do it. Of course, you can use the button compression lock to deploy it. Take some wrist action though, because it's a double detent system that holds the blade in place. So when you press the button, it doesn't just fall. As I'm pressing it, you see it's not falling out. You have to sort of flick it. So I mean, I might take off that detent, that second detent, and just have the single one. So we'll see. And then the most beautiful part about the whole thing is this. This thing is absolutely, this right here. It is the most understated piece of steel I've ever seen. It's just sitting there in the corner, almost like it serves no purpose. Like it's just there. Like, oh, why didn't they cut the steel off here? Why didn't they just make it, like, what is it for? Well, guess what? That's the flipper tab. It doesn't even look like a flipper tab. It just, and what I love about it is the square part of it makes up this geometry when it's closed. Then once you flip it and open it, that same piece flips onto this side and it's part of the handle. So when you're holding it, that's and you're getting a good purchase grip on here, that's what you're holding on to. So yeah, it's nice. It's nice. And even holding this thing with your middle finger in the cut in the groove here, you get a really nice grip on this thing. It's not going anywhere. And reverse grip also, the pinky can slide right into that same spot, and it's very nice for reverse grip. Very nice. Okay, so yeah, that's all I have for this right now. Like I said, there's going to be another review on this. I'm gonna do some stuff on my Instagram page to showcase this knife. Really nice because I like it a lot, and it's gonna be part of my absolute best knife review. Well, it's not gonna be a review. It's gonna be sort of like like a showing of them. Just to put out that content to people that view. All right. All right. That's all I got for today. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.